Hello class, this is lesson 1-6, Understanding Decimals and Converting Between Fractions and Decimals. This is the Learning Needed channel. My request to students is to remember your reason to pass the GED exam. Whatever your reason is, keep it close to your heart as the going gets tough because it is something that you have to work towards, so use it to motivate you to push through. Second is don't give up. The only way you're going to pass the GED exam is if you keep going, if you keep studying, keep finding these videos, and getting that passing score on the exam. Finally, please like and subscribe to this video and my YouTube channel. I can only provide these videos with your continued support, and thank you in advance. If you're interested in one-on-one tutoring where you would like some assistance on some problems or a live explanation of a specific subject, not just in math but any of the 4 GED subjects, I do have that service available in my website in the description below. For study material, I do suggest the Kaplan GED Test Prep Book. It is released every year, and you can get the latest copy in my video description below. Also, the GED Math Calculator that is approved to be used and brought with you to the exam is the TI-30XS model, and if you'd like to get a physical version of that calculator for you to play with and try it out, I do have a link to purchase that as well in my video description below. All right, let's get started. Decimals versus fractions. Decimals and fractions both represent values that are less than 1. Decimals are located to the right of the decimal point, and when you say it out loud, you use the word "and" for decimal point. So if we see here, we have a decimal number with two numbers, 2 and 7, to the left of the decimal point, and 1829 to the right of the decimal point. So if we look at the names for the place values of each of them, you may be familiar with the whole number ones, which are the tens and the ones, but then to the right of the decimal points, those are the decimal numbers, and it starts with tenths, hundredths, thousands, and 10,000ths. When you say it, you do enunciate that THS sound, so you sound a little bit like a snake, to differentiate between those and the ones place values. Saying this number out loud, it is 27 and 1,829 10,000ths. Now, one thing that I do want to note is you only say the THS sound on the last place value. So if you notice here when we were saying the decimal place values, we did say 1,000 and not 1,000ths because, again, you only say the place value for the decimal with the THS for the last place value that you are saying, in this case the 9. Converting between decimals and fractions. To convert fractions to decimals, you must realize that fractions are actually just division problems. And a fraction looks like a numerator over a denominator, and the division problem is the numerator divided by the denominator. For example, if we want to convert 6/8 to a decimal, we solve that as a division problem where it is 6 divided by 8, and if you solve that by hand or in the calculator, you will get a decimal answer of 0.75. In contrast, converting decimals to fractions, decimals are fractions with a denominator that is a power of 10. So the powers of 10 are 10, then 100, 1,000, 10,000, 100,000, and so on and so forth. So you set the decimal number over the appropriate power of 10. And the way that you know which power of 10 you set as the denominator is dependent on the amount of decimal digits that you have. So if you have one decimal digit, then that decimal digit is a numerator over a denominator of 10. If you have 2 decimal digits, you put it over a denominator of 100, 3 over 1,000, and so on and so forth. So if we look at converting 0.8 and 0.8297 to fractions, we see that 0.8 is 1 decimal digit. It's 1 number after the decimal. And 0.8297 is 4 digits after the decimal. So that is 4 decimal digits. So for 0.8, you set the numerical value of the decimal digit over a power of 10 or over a denominator of 10. So you don't put 0.8 or 0.8 over 10, you put the numerical value of the decimal over 10. And for 0.8297, it is 4 decimal digits, so you put it over 10,000. And again, just the numerical value of the decimal digit. Once you have placed the decimal digit over the appropriate power of 10 denominator, then you reduce it to lowest terms if needed. And that is converting decimals to fractions. So that was today's lesson. It was a very short lesson. It is an introduction and transition into decimals coming from the subject of fractions. The next lessons will be going over decimals more in depth. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.